welcome back to another episode of the Black Impact Podcast. I am Tiffany, your host, and today I have a special guest with me, and we're going to have a conversation with Autumn Green. She is a mother, an entrepreneur, and the founder of Scene One Co. She is a brand strategist, guys, who is navigating reality of raising a child with autism while rebuilding herself, her identity, and her purpose outside of corporate life. In this episode, we're going to have an honest conversation about motherhood, autism awareness, mental health, and what it really looks like to choose yourself and still show up for people who need you the most. Everybody, welcome Autumn. Hey. Thank you so much for joining today. How are you?
I am doing well. Look, I was doing my makeup this morning. I said, I need to really beat this face because one thing about me, I love to cry.
Oh, you're a crier. Okay.
Especially with this topic. So I'm like,
Yeah.
look, we're gonna try to keep it together.
Yeah, I know. This is a touchy subject. Everyone, this is Autism Awareness Month, April. So we're gonna be talking about we're gonna have some questions for her and we just gonna get right into it, okay?
Okay.
All right. So you left corporate life at the start of 2026. When you were you most scared of falling or more scared of staying the same version of yourself?
That's a good question. Honestly, I was more scared of staying the same. And that's really what pushed me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that feeling was more temporary.
Right.
So staying the same, that feels more permanent. So it's like
Right.
you gotta pick a side, and I had already experienced what it felt like to shrink myself. I was working at that company for 4 years. And I was trying to fit into a room that just didn't fully reflect who I was at my core. And it wasn't something that I could go any longer, unseen. So leaving corporate, it wasn't me being confident, like, oh, I have it all figured out. Like, I know what to do. It was me choosing myself.
Right.
It was uncomfortable. It was like, oh, excuse my language.
No, you can, speak freely, babe.
I had built something on, I feel like, how do I want to say it? A side that showed me that there was more for me.
Right.
So I just had to go all in. Go all in. I feel like if I stayed, it would have been me abandoning myself.
I completely understand. Yeah. I did the same exact thing. I left my job last year in September and I stepped out on faith, and also because I had it up with the company that I was working with. Like you said, you were choosing yourself. I felt like I was doing the right thing and choosing myself, and I honestly felt like God was trying to tell me to get out of this situation. Like, how long you gonna let these people play in your face, and also how much are you gonna keep taking from being overworked and burnt out, and not valuing I was valuing myself, but I was getting taken advantage of in the corporate life. So but I completely understand. I'm very familiar with you thinking that you're going to fail and also staying the same person that you were. So I totally resonate with that. Girl, it's a hard transition. And then when it comes to entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship is the business part of it is so hard because it's a mirror of like how much effort are you going to put into yourself to succeed where you want to be, instead of just doing a job, because you can do the job, but it's like, can you be consistent? Can you show up where nobody, you put a lot of effort in that company, but can you do the same thing when it comes to your brand, your business? So no, I definitely understand when it comes to that. So I want to say congratulations to you, because babe, entrepreneurship is it's tough out here.
It is, but it feels good. And
it does. It feels good.
You're just choosing yourself.
Yes, it does. It feels good. And when everybody who's an entrepreneur, the people that you're trying to reach, the clients that you're trying to reach, they're gonna come. You just have to keep going. Don't give up. Keep going. And then but also I want to speak to this too. Everybody, it's not meant for everybody, right? You can't just automatically wake up and be like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur. That's not just how it works, right? You really have to have the skills, the talent to be able to do that, and the mental capacity to be able to do that. And if you're not one of them people that can, do that, then it's okay. We need people in corporate. We need people who are, at those type of jobs. So yeah, I just want to speak to that. Okay. So what was the hardest identity shift? Leaving corporate, becoming a full-time entrepreneur, or redefining yourself as a mother to a child with unique needs? I know, baby, that was a lot.
Look, I'm like, girl, you coming with the question.
Yes,
okay,
girl.
Hold on. Wait. Okay. You know what? Yeah. Becoming,
yeah.
I feel like my brain becoming a full-time entrepreneur. Because it's hard because I kind of have, it's like I want to choose two of those. So
Yeah.
becoming a
I mean, you're
entrepreneur,
entitled to, because you're all of those things, right?
Yeah. So becoming a full-time entrepreneur while being a mom to a child with unique needs, that has been the absolute hardest. Okay. One thing about me, I'm not going to sugarcoat it anything. And I feel like, especially with this topic, it being Autism Awareness Month, it is my job to bring awareness to the fact, yes, it's hard. I mean, motherhood in general is hard, and we're not going to say it's not. But being a mother to a child with unique needs that society already views as one way, we can get into that later because I'm sure you have questions about it. But yeah, because both of those roles, they're not only asking for certain pieces of me, both of those roles need all of me. I'm now a full-time entrepreneur, but I'm also a full-time mother. There is no part-time motherhood, and now this is my livelihood, being a full-time entrepreneur. So leaving corporate, all that did for me was give me my time back, but it was up to me to choose what I do with that time. But because it also took away structure, so now I'm redefining what it looks like. It took away validation. All the things that you can hide behind, because you can hide behind a boss, but now you're your own boss. So now I'm building something from scratch while I'm also being fully present for my son. So the only person that I have to blame if it don't work out is me. And it forced me to really meet myself, I feel like I've been regaining a sense of self. Rediscovering a sense of self. Because I never lost it. I think I just was rediscovering another part of it.
I like that.
Yeah, and that in itself, honestly, I don't think it's ever comfortable. So yeah, if that answers your question.
Yeah, listen. I can understand. I mean, I don't have any kids, and I don't know what that feels like, but I had a friend who has a son who has unique needs just like that. And what I see in her and how much it takes so much energy when it comes to those type of situations, it takes a lot out of you, and you have to be very patient, and you have to be very patient, and you have to have the mental capacity to be able to deal with that. And sometimes it's not pretty, and sometimes you also have to like get yourself together, and also remember that you can't be angry in that moment, because that can affect how you show up for that child, right?
100%.
So watching someone in that in those scenarios and in that type of atmosphere, it's very tough and it's very hard. And also, being a friend to someone like that, trying to support them in those, ways. So I listen, it's tough, and it's very tough. What part of motherhood do you think people romanticize the most, and what is the truth that nobody talks about?
Okay, now, am I speaking from my own experience?
Just in motherhood, period, like in your experience, or if you think about, just in general.
Okay. Because there's so many ways I could take this.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Because this podcast is about me, right? So we're going to make sure it's me. In my opinion, there are many things that are romanticized, which is not a bad thing. The one thing that I think a lot of people romanticize is the bond.
The bond of the child.
Yes, with your
Okay.
child. I feel
Oh,
like it
okay.
is romanticized. But the bond is real too. Like my son, he is the most incredible human. See, look, it's already started. Already started.
Oh Lord.
Look, it's early.
It's
It's
okay.
early. He is the most incredible human, like truly. But I feel like what people don't talk about, like, yes, we can romanticize it, but with my experience being a mother to a child with unique needs, we don't talk about the grief that can exist alongside that love. And no, it's not grief, for your child. It's grief for the expectations that you had. Because let's be real, you have a child, you have these expectations of how they're going to show up in the world. What kind of mother will you be? Oh yeah, I'm going to pick my child. Oh yeah, I can't wait for us to cook together and bake and do all this. And it's like my child can't do a lot of those things. So now I have to rewire my brain, right? Because the version of motherhood that I imagined is the version of myself that I, like kind of thought that I would be. And I think a lot of moms feel it, but they don't say it out loud because they feel like they're doing something wrong when it's like, no, this is your reality.
Right.
You need to bring more awareness to that.
Yeah.
But also show people like it's okay to feel that way.
Right.
You just got to maneuver and figure it out.
Yeah.
No, and I'm going to say the hard stuff if you really want to be a parent.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, it comes down to, do you really want to be a mom? You can still be a mom. You just got to show up in a different way. You now have to reimagine what you imagined when you were, in my experience, my parents have been together since middle school. And there are 6 of us. I have 5 siblings. So I grew up in a not only 2-parent household, but seeing my parents as best friends. My parents are 50 and they're still best friends living lives. Four out of their 6 children, we're now all adults living our own lives. And so, of course, I'm like, oh yeah, when I get older, I can't wait. I'm going to have my husband, I'm going to have the child, I'm going to have all this. That wasn't my reality. My motherhood journey started as a single mom. So I'm a single mom. I have a child. My child has special needs. I've been reimagining motherhood since I started. I just never knew what it was. Like, I never really gave it a name because I was just trying to figure it out as I,
Right.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't hear that enough because we don't, and then I feel like sometimes when you see a mom and a child with unique needs, like in a store or something like that, and they're experiencing, they're having one of their episodes, and you're trying to figure out like, but you don't really know what's going on, and I feel like we're so quick to like judge that mom or that child when you don't really know what's going on,
Girl,
right?
the way I
So
had a lady the other day, I'm like, cause you just taking me back, and that's one thing. My
yeah,
son is 4 going on 5. I got his like I already knew,
you knew,
there's no, I feel like moms, potentially one thing about me, I know I'm a good ass mother. I know I am. And because I'm paying attention to things, I had concerns when he was 7 months old. That's why it's called early intervention. There are a lot of parents that choose not to go the early intervention route. I did. And so I got my answers early because I didn't let up. I mean, I'm reporting, I'm submitting to doctors. I see this is what I see. I don't think that this is air quote normal. I understand every child meets milestones at a different time, but he's not. Like, what's going on? He met this milestone and now he's regressing. Why isn't he? Why isn't he, doing this and doing that? And through all that, I'm trusting my gut. The hardest thing as a mother is to trust your gut. It is so hard. And you just have to. You have to trust in that. You have to have faith. I don't know who the listeners, your listeners believe in. I believe in God, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
So do I.
One thing about it, I have faith in him. I have faith in him through and through. And here we are. My son was diagnosed in January of 2024, officially diagnosed. He had already been, on my end, he was already diagnosed for me. I just knew I needed that official diagnosis to keep moving. But yeah, girl, So one thing about me, I have been advocating since then, and I'm going to continue advocating. The only thing that has changed is I now don't give a fuck.
I mean,
I don't care. I don't care what nobody got going on, what they thinking, okay? I
right.
will cut
I
you
mean,
out
you
if I do.
can. You
You
can
looking at me
give.
like you crazy. You need to think twice. Oh, maybe he is on the spectrum. Maybe he blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
oh your child was making no. Oh, your child started me. Oh my God, why are they yelling? And what did I start doing? I started yelling with him, flapping my arms with him. Okay, running through the aisles. Look at us both.
Right.
This is a mother having fun with her son. You're so quick to judge. You can go in a different aisle for your bread,
Mhm.
girl. Like,
So talk about what was some of them signs that you seen early on. Like what type of signs come up for you? You said you found out when he was like 7 months.
mm-hmm. So the very first sign, funny enough, my sister, my older sister, she has 4 kids of her own.
Okay.
Nolan is my first and only child as of now. And um so it was her, excuse me, she's like, "Oh, sister, I noticed he does this repetitive thing, like rocking back and forth." Me,
Mm-hmm.
once again, first time mom, I'm not knowing what's air quote normal or what's just his thing or he's
Right.
playing around. But then I started paying more attention. I'm like, he has been doing that for the last like 2 hours and has not stopped. So that was like
Mm-hmm.
one of the first things. I mean, rocking back and forth for hours, and flapping his hands. Like one thing about it, you meet one child with autism, that doesn't mean that you know what
No. Right.
like you don't know what autism looks like. It's going to look different for every child.
Right.
One person, their initial signs may look different. So for me, that was one, and then it was also the milestones. I'm like, okay, he's not crawling. Yes, every child will crawl at different times, but it's like, no, you at least start there. He wasn't crawling. He went from being able to sit up to no longer being able to sit up anymore. I would like go to, touch him. He didn't necessarily want to be touched, and
I'm so sorry. It's okay. It's okay. You can sit in it. It's okay.
he's made so much progress. I mean, it's crazy, but it's still like when you think back, like I think back to the
Yeah.
days I was by myself. Like I'm born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. Have lived here
Mm-hmm.
all my life except for one year. The year I had him, I said, okay, it's always been my dream to live somewhere else. So I did my research and I said, okay, you know what? We're gonna move. It was just him and I. We had no family. Where we were moving. We were leaving all of our village.
Yeah.
Chose Dallas, Texas. We lived there for one full year. The moment I got to Texas, that's when all of the concerns started, brewing. And I'm just like, I'm not sure. So, contacting different doctors. He did have a new PCP there who she was great, advocating and me sharing with her like something's happening. I'm not sure what, but something is not right and I'm trusting my gut and I need you to believe me and help me connect with the people who I need to connect with. So
Right.
we got us into physical therapy. We had a physical therapist that would come to our home every Monday, which was amazing. I didn't have to go out. I'm still navigating this new city, this new state, their
Right.
laws, everything, while navigating motherhood as a first-time mom, while navigating not only motherhood, but my child potentially being on the spectrum and the higher end of it.
Right.
So I'm researching, I'm learning, I'm doing all these things, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I know something's going on. So the physical therapy, they're coming every Monday. And eventually, he started, it took about 3 months, 3 months after his first birthday. And this is after we had been in physical therapy for months now. So he didn't start crawling until he was 15 months.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, prior to that, I'm sorry if I'm like skipping around.
No,
Um,
it's fine.
but yeah, so that was a sign. Like the main thing was the repetitiveness. There was
Mm-hmm.
the noises that he would make. Like there was this one noise he would hum for hours, and I mean hours and hours and hours. The sensory defensiveness, which I now know what it is. You know, of
Mhm.
course, back then I had no idea. I'm just like, he does not like his hands touched. He does not like his feet touched. I cannot hold him. You know, like you want to hold your child, he doesn't like it. Um,
Yeah.
when I would give him snacks, he'd, you know, have to have them lined up. They couldn't be broken. They would all have to be one color. You know, when he would eat, he would have to flip it a certain way, you know, 3 times before he would take a bite. Like different things that I noticed
Yeah.
over time. His diet shifted immediately. One thing about us, like, well, me, I love me a good piece of fish. And, you know, so early on, yeah, you know, me and him eating, you know, like are eating the same thing. It was like overnight. He
So he
was
didn't want to eat no more.
no more. Everything had to be brown.
Mhm.
Um, like I don't know, like his diet was literally Ritz crackers. There was these like little snack bites. I forget, like the little like baby cereal.
Mhm.
Um, and it was these little like oatmeal bars. That was all he ate and nothing else. So when I say I'm at the market, I'm back. I'm like, okay, you know what? It's fine. I mean, Ritz
Yeah,
crackers.
you're just adjusting. Yeah.
Rich crackers for lunch, rich crackers for dinner, and he was exclusively breastfed. Now that you know that was fine. So you know, breastfeeding him, give him his snacks, whatever.
Mhm.
And then when he stopped being breastfed, you know, I shifted to milk. So, you know, he would drink his milk and then he would have his snacks and that was literally it. And I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. So then eventually we had an OT, which is an occupational therapist who would come.
Mhm.
So we had a physical
Right.
therapist and an occupational therapist who would come to our home. Occupational therapist, game changer. She's the one who explained to me, okay, your son has sensory um yeah, so your son is sensory defensive, which
Mhm.
means um pretty much you know our senses. So okay, let me think of an example. So you know how some people they'll be like, oh, I hate the feeling of quarter war, or like I hate the sound of like chalkboard erasing. Like that's you know things
Mm.
that people may um feel. My son, it's times 1,000. So
Mm.
people were like, "Oh, I hate the texture of bananas." His feeling will be times 1,000. So I mean, it's times where I'm literally trying to feed him. I have to physically pull his tongue out his mouth, rub the food on it to get him used to it, rub it on the inside of his cheeks to get him to know this is
Mm.
not something that is trying to attack you. It's
Right.
help you because you need to eat. Um, and granted, he never had an issue with the eating per se. He could eat a lot. It would just be okay. You're eating a lot of these of only these foods, which are called
Right.
foods. Um,
Right.
you know, as of today, he now eats every fruit, but his food is
Okay.
still brown.
Okay.
His day foods are chicken nuggets, brown Ritz crackers, the oatmeal bars, waffles, pancakes, and French toast.
How do you sneak in a little bit of vegetable in there?
So there's actually this vitamin, right?
Oh, okay.
Funny enough, prior to that, he would get it from this applesauce pouch. He no longer wants those. That was also
Mm.
overnight. He has not had those in like a year. He just won't anymore. So now there's this vitamin that I discovered. I was doing research, girl, and it's actually a powder. And
Ooh,
he loves body owners. So I'll have his water, like like all he really drinks is water, and I'll throw a splash of body armor in, so that's giving him some electrolytes, B12, all that. But
that's good.
it's a powder vitamin, and you can sprinkle it into anything. Since he doesn't eat foods that I can sprinkle it into, because you can put it in drinks, you can put it in foods. Like to those parents who, you know, maybe your child's safe food is applesauce, you can sprinkle it in the applesauce. I mean, it has no taste, no color.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
he loves it. And yeah, that I'm trying to think if there's anything I missed. Um,
That's good though.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah. I feel
Good.
like it is because I feel like I could go on about this for so long. So I'm gonna let you, you know, continue with like with your questions and anything else. But yeah, because girl, I could share the story from beginning to end. Like it's just
Okay. How has motherhood changed your identity in ways you didn't expect, and how did you find yourself again inside of that?
it made me more honest. I've always been an honest person, but like so what I was saying a few minutes ago, I stopped caring. I stopped caring about what people thought. I stopped caring about. Now, yes, I'm a very empathetic person. I'm
Mhm.
empathetic and I'm also sympathetic. But when you're navigating something like this, it's hard for you to um care. No, it's hard for you to hold back in any other area in your life because you're going so hard in this area. In this area of my life, this is literally my whole life. My whole life is I am a mom.
Right.
Um, I am a mom to a child with autism at
Right.
the highest level. He has level 3 autism, which is the highest level.
Mhm.
And so with that, of course, that was my mindset. I had to get out of that. I said, okay, yes, this is a role, right? But it's not entirely who I am.
Right.
Um, so my son, because of how his brain is wired, it helped change me. He's responding to who I am, right? He's not responding to who I may pretend to be for others because he does not know. He
Mhm.
cannot recollect that. His brain is not wired like other people. It's his brain is literally what's in front of me is what it is, and it's not what it's not. And he reads energy before anything else.
Mhm.
That is one thing I picked up on pretty, early on. And I was just like, he is going to save me. Like, or anytime I share this with somebody that they think I'm crazy, but I wholeheartedly believe it. Prior to my child, I've never been patient. I was never patient. And I prayed to God. I always said, God, make me more patient. I need that. I know that it is what is in the way of me reaching my goals would happen.
Mhm.
Pregnant, okay. The um young man I was with chose not to be in the child's life early on.
Mm.
I was only 4 weeks pregnant before he decided, so I literally went through my entire pregnancy alone. And
No.
I always
Yeah.
said,
I'm
okay,
so
I'd
sorry.
rather yeah, it's okay. I'd rather not take the other route, which to
Mhm.
each his own. Um,
Yeah.
but I said, you know what? I just graduated college. I had my own apartment. I'm making great money. At the time, I was a fitness trainer and a nutritionist, and I also had a little accessory business. So I'm like, I was living.
Mhm.
Granted, what I said, my childhood, I didn't expect to be a single mother. That's not even what I
Right.
knew, and it's not what I knew.
Right.
I was like, you know what? I can do this. Um, and I did it.
Yeah.
So the thing is, the way it's like when I say that God did that to me to help me learn patience, people think I'm crazy. When I say that God gave me a child with autism to help me learn patience, people think I'm crazy. You have to be patient as
No,
long.
you
Yeah,
do. You have to be
yeah,
patient.
yeah.
Yeah. I think
But
God puts certain things in your life to show you what patience look like, and he makes you be like he when you that's why you say you have to be careful what you pray for, because
exactly, and you got
he's
to be
going to give
so
you
specific.
yeah, you have to
Yes,
be.
like he will give it to you, and that's why I said I'm
Right.
like, my child has autism. I have to be more patient than I would have if he didn't.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, okay, God, I hear you. I hear you. And if
Yeah.
you think I can handle it, then I know I can handle it. So I'm gonna
Right.
handle it. Um, so yeah, it's like the way he views the world, he has forced me to strip everything down, to look within myself, right?
Mhm.
To say, okay, how am I showing up?
Yeah.
And am I showing up as honest as I can be, not only with myself, but those around me? So that honesty started showing up everywhere in my life, in my content, in my business, and how I move. And I knew that I couldn't keep living in a version of myself that wasn't real.
Right.
So for me, that was me tapping into more hobbies. Again, I feel like in motherhood, we forget like motherhood is not the end of your hobbies. It's
Right.
the remix. Like
Yeah.
so let's tap into what we like. If you don't like what you used to like, figure out what you like
What you do.
today
Right. Yeah.
and have something that's just for you. So that
Right.
one thing I am very routine. I feel like God bless me with that as well. My child being on the spectrum, he needs routine, structure. That is him. His
Yes.
mother is the same way, but with him, he cannot handle not being in it.
Mm.
So I had to learn that. I had to make it my life. And now I'm like, wow, I am thriving. I am thriving with routine. I am
That's
thriving with
good.
structure.
Yeah.
And one thing about it is, another thing, I have what I call intentional me time. I wake up very early. I am an early bird, early, what is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I am far from a night owl. So I wake up early, and that's my me time that I have to, whether it's pray, whether it's look at a wall, or just because I want to look at a wall, that I know is guaranteed silence, that I know I'm not jumping right into mommy mode, because that's
Yeah.
not even good for, for your nervous system.
Right.
And I have that, and that's for me.
Right.
So yeah, I had to fight back. And I mean fight to make sure that I was existing as a
Yeah.
person, and but not just existing, but living, and not just letting this new role take over everything.
Now, you say that, but how was your mental health in this situation? Like, what was going
Oh,
on when it comes to you mentally? How are you processing everything? Were you in therapy,
mhm.
or you was just navigating this all on your own? Because mental health just like we mental health just reached like a big
Yeah.
we're just now starting talking about mental health, right? Because now people are like more self-aware, trying to
Mhm.
figure out what's going on. I have to fix this about myself. Like, we want to do that deep dive and figure out like what is going on.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
Well, girl,
Girl, I know it's a lot,
girl.
cause
Because see, that's the thing, and yeah, it's like on my platform too. It's very wellness heavy. That's one thing that I always try to tap into. Um, Because yeah, mental health is so taboo, and I hate it.
yeah,
It's like, no, let's talk about it.
yeah,
Girl,
yeah.
I cried every night. And I'm not even over I'm
Hmm.
not over exaggerating. I mean, he'd have his routine. I was so grateful. I'm like, yes, I was working out. His sleep schedule was great. I'll put him down to bed. I mean, I would close that bedroom door. I would go into my living room, slide down the wall, and
Yeah.
cry.
I,
Cry for
I
like 2 hours. I kid you not. I mean, boo-hooing. And then I get up and be like, you know what? I'm gonna pop some popcorn and pour a glass of wine and watch a movie. Like,
yeah.
because I now had that release. So that is how I coped. Because as I said, when I started this journey, I was in a whole new state. So I didn't know much. I didn't have any friends. I had
Right.
no family. My focus was what's going on with my child? How can we get it figured out? I wasn't viewing it as something to fix. I was viewing it as something to learn. And
Right.
I just want to understand my child better. I don't care what it is. I don't care at all. I just want
Right.
to make sure that
Want
I
to understand?
understand.
Right.
Um so yeah, it was hard. I am in therapy now. I've been in therapy for 2 years, but I was not
Hmm.
then.
Hmm.
So it was everything on my own. The only person that I
Yes.
was really able to confide in was my sister at the time. I mean, we'd be on FaceTime every day.
Hmm.
Just talking, because she was still living here in Baltimore. And, I kept thinking, I'm just like, this is hard. And I also knew from doing my research, Maryland has the most amazing resources, which is why in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, like moving back was the best thing ever.
Right.
But when you're in the thick of it and you're starting out, you're like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I knew that it was my dream to move here. I am meeting people, but to potentially have somewhat of a village back at home, I feel like I should move back. So we lived there
Yeah.
for a year. I moved back. And I say potentially because yes, you have family that's like, oh yeah, we're there for you. We're here for you.
Yeah.
You're
Right.
actually not. Um,
Yeah.
Especially when something like this, because people hear the word autism or spectrum and they run.
They
They
do run. They do run
and it's like,
because they don't know how to. They don't know how to process that either, and they don't know what it's like to be in that situation. They're scared because they don't want to mishandle something that is not theirs,
mm-hmm,
right? So that's why they run. The
mm-hmm,
scarcity of a situation, and then you don't want to be at fault for
yeah,
doing something wrong or creating an episode that you don't have no control of, right? So I mean, I understand, but it's like when it comes to family and you have a niece and nephew or a grandchild who has unique needs, you need to also be able to do your research and figure
mm-hmm,
out what that child needs instead of pushing it away. And then some people just doesn't have the capacity to be able to deal with that, and that's okay.
mm-hmm, yeah. And aside from that, because not even do the research, you have a family member who was in it.
Yeah.
Support them.
Right.
And support, honey, support can look like, how are you
Yeah.
today? What do you
Right.
need today? Can I come by and just sit and watch you guys do your day to day? So that maybe you
Exactly.
can learn it and give you time off. As I said, I was still a single mother. I'm now
Right.
in a beautiful relationship with the most amazing man for almost
Right.
3 years,
Oh,
who
congratulations to that.
accepted me, accepted my son for who he is.
That's awesome.
And, but back then, I'm like, I'm not right about a man. I'm like, yeah, I know this
Yeah.
was my goal. Single motherhood was not for me, but I'm just like, no, I'm in it, and this is my reality. So
Right.
figure it out. But doing it alone, to where no,
Yeah.
you can't really have breaks. You kind of have to
Yeah.
break it down. Hey, if you do watch my son, I have a time. Okay, it's like I'm giving a time limit. Okay, I get
Right.
2 hours maybe, because okay, yeah, he'll eat his snacks, and this is how you have to sort it. His food has to be this temperature, blah blah blah. And the thing is, and I'm not even. I know it can sound biased as his mom, but I'm not being biased. My child is the simplest child to babysit. Like, and I say this all the
Mhm.
time because of how he is today. Now, back then, I can understand because I was still learning too. But now,
Right.
baby, he got his snacks. He has his device because he is thriving with that AAC device. Okay, he would chat. He be chatting me up with the device. Okay,
Oh, that's
um,
good.
chatting me up. Okay, and he's 100% nonverbal, but now that has been shifting because he can say some words now.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
like he could say actually a good bit of words. So
That's
it's been
good.
easier now to understand what he needs. Back
Right.
then, you're not only scared of the autism, whatever that is,
Right.
you're also scared of, okay, what if I don't understand what he needs?
What he needs.
And it's
Right.
now you have a better understanding. So what's your
Right.
now? And now there's so much information out here, especially with other families, other moms or parents, whatever, being open to sharing their journey. And
Yeah.
I love more special needs families being open to sharing it. And me, I'll share different things here and there, but I've been sharing more lately because every time I share, no matter what it is, I get an influx of DMs. And I'm,
Right.
you know what? This is why I share it, because I know where I was. Right. I was
Right.
doing my own research, like, oh, like why is nobody talking about this? Oh, like why is it not here? And now I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I can share it. I can share it
Right.
so that the next person that's doing their research can go to my page and see, wow, she was where I am now,
Right.
and this is what she did to get to where she is now. So yeah, like my mental health was shot, but
That's okay. You in therapy. You doing it, girl.
right, it was shot. But honestly, my love for being a mom, I feel like took over because
Mhm.
he brings me so much joy. He always has. It's just been hard, especially those moments where I
Yeah.
couldn't really understand, those moments where I just didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Those moments where I had to pivot more than I may have wanted to. Um, but I'm like, look at us now.
Mhm.
Still some exceptionally hard days. Do not, I won't say it's not, but um, I do have more support. Um,
That's good.
Still not the support from family that you would hope for. Because like we said, we're all about honesty, but support, whether it is from the community online, whether it is from his therapist. He is an
Yeah.
ABA. ABA can be a very controversial topic. That's one thing I will always speak on because my experience has been nothing but positive. And his team is absolutely amazing. And I'm happy that I trusted myself and chose to go that route as opposed to
Mhm.
another route, because he is thriving there and his team has been so supportive. As I said,
Mhm.
my boyfriend, he is beyond supportive. And, and that's why I said you really can't make somebody care.
Mhm.
This man came into my life. He didn't really know much about autism at all. He just knew I want to be with this woman. She's an amazing woman. She has a child who was on the spectrum. Let me research. He researched, shared things with me, and then he said, "You know what? I'm just going to sit and observe." And he would observe, and that's how he knew. You know, um, and yeah, he can be open. And like in the beginning, he was like, "I don't see how he's autistic." And to this day, he will still apologize. Like, I know when I said that, it probably was crazy because it's just, it's something that people say expecting it to look one way. And
Right.
I appreciate you for realizing that though, realizing that it doesn't look one way, and for
Right.
you to kind of get uncomfortable and be like, you know what, let me not try to go into this knowing, try to go into this impressing her. Let me be like, I don't know nothing about this at all, and let me just be here with her and see what
Right.
she needs and see how I can help. And it has been amazing. But at the end of the day, I'm beyond proud of myself for getting where I got by myself.
Yeah.
And I'm still a solo parent. I'm still doing it solo, you know. So yeah, that was a long-winded answer, but
It's okay. I got more. It's okay.
okay.
Okay. Where did you feel lost? Where did you feel like you lost yourself in motherhood, and what helped you start getting that version of yourself back?
Um, okay. Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
okay if you don't feel like you have.
Oh no, I definitely did. I definitely did. I lost my because I've spoken about this on my page a few times. I lost myself in the caregiving part. Um,
Mm, always showing up for.
yeah, and it
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
happens.
as women, because we're so nurturing, like we always lose ourselves in
Yes.
giving so much into people when we really need to be pouring into ourselves. But it's kind of hard. It's like you have to have a balance, but
Yep.
nobody talks about that actual balance
Yeah.
or what that balance looks like.
Yeah.
And then when you pull back from giving yourself too much in in certain situations or things or a person, you have to deal with the uncertainty of what that looks like. Like you just try to figure out how you can navigate it and also stay sane in your own body, right?
Yeah, and it,
So
it happens so quietly. Like
yeah.
it's not even like, oh gosh, I'm losing myself. No. You just look up and you're like, it's like, where did I go? Like,
But
what am I?
like
Like,
what,
what am I doing? Like,
right, like
like
what in the world?
you just
Right.
doing what you need to do for everybody else around you. And
Yeah,
you're like, okay, let me pause. Let me take a step back. And the thing is, not every mom has that moment.
they
It's just
don't.
sad, and that's why I try to preach that as much as I can. Like, take a moment, or honestly, every day, do something for you.
For yourself. Yes.
Something for you. It doesn't matter how small it is. Something that you can look forward to. You're like, this is for me.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, getting myself back. It wasn't a huge thing. Like, okay, you know what? I'm
Mhm.
dedicated to doing this. No, it was me being
Mhm.
intentional. Like I said, that
Yeah.
that intentional me time. So it was those like small
I
choices.
love that.
I'm going to do some hobbies. Um, I am a matcha girl. Okay, I love me a good old cup of matcha. So it's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to romanticize making my own cup in the morning instead
I
of.
be trying to be a matcha girl. It don't work out for me. Like
It's okay. Look, it is an acquired taste. I've been drinking
it's so
matcha.
earthy. Like I just
I know. Look, you know what? Look, so we gonna plan a date. We're gonna plan a date, right? And I'm gonna have you try some matcha. We'll see. But that's the thing. I'm like, I tell people, I'm like, don't try so hard to like it. It's okay if you don't. It is an
yeah.
acquired taste. Um, yeah, I discovered it 8 years ago and been drinking
Mm.
since then.
Really? Because
Hmm.
matcha just got like real
Girl,
popular.
and that's why. Look, I could go. Look,
What?
let's have a separate podcast like about matcha. Girl, I can ramble. I can ramble. I'm like, I am a matcha girl at heart. I just love how it makes me feel. Like versus coffee.
Oh, okay. It has really
Um.
good benefits.
Oh yeah, amazing
Oh,
benefits.
okay. I
Amazing
mean, I
benefits.
don't know. I don't drink it, and I haven't done any research in regard to it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So did okay. My quick spiel. So versus coffee. Versus coffee, it's like a slow release. So coffee is like
Okay.
instant. Okay, instant energy. Matcha is slowly releases throughout the day. So you're having these little spurts of energy, but it has L-theanine, which helps your brain relax. Also helps you focus.
Okay.
Boost your mood. Good for your
Okay.
skin because at the end of the day, it's nothing more than a green tea.
Okay.
Um, it's just now most popular in latte form.
Oh, okay. I
But
love green tea.
yeah, but the like its origin, girl, is made like you just drink it and boil it like a green tea. It's just
Okay.
now most popular in that powder form. You're making it into a latte, baking it. So people are now using it for a little bit of everything.
Right.
Um, but yeah, lots of benefits, lots of benefits. But okay, not to veer off. So yeah, slowing down with my matcha in the morning, making content, reconnecting with God.
Yes.
And also just reminding myself that I matter too. Like, yes, my child,
Yes.
yes, his needs matter. And I don't want to say I'm being selfish, but learning that it's okay to be
To
selfish.
be
Like,
selfish.
yeah,
Yes.
it's like
Yes.
people hear the word selfish and they just think negative, and it's like
They do think it's negative.
and it's like no, you can be selfish, but it can
Fish.
be sustainable.
Right, right.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think I had a train of thought, lost it. Hopefully it come back. God, my train of thoughts be leaving. They
I
be
get it. Get it.
but I think when it comes to like we don't really notice that we're caring for people so much. Like it doesn't because it's so natural for us. Like we don't even it just happens that way, right? So when you were saying people don't really know that they're doing it, yeah, they don't. Like it just that's just what
That's it.
it's in us,
Yep.
right? And then we have to actually like pull ourselves back and be like, oh, I'm giving too much. I'm doing too much. Let me learn
Yeah.
how to get out of my comfort zone and pour into me and figure out the things that I want to do. But it's so hard to do that. Like it's so hard to make that pivot and figure out what you actually want as a
Yeah.
person
Yep.
and still show up the way you need to be for other people, right?
Yep.
So, yeah. I just had to say that before
Yeah,
like, you know.
yeah, I get it. I get it. Girl, cause you get it. So
When you first noticed, I think you talked about this already. When you first noticed your child was developing differently, what emotions came up for you that people really talked about? The fear, I think you already addressed this. The fear, the denial, the comfort.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, fear. Fear that it's like wow, every decision I'm making now sets the tone for his life and how he'll be treated and like
Yeah.
it's like
Right?
okay, fear of like honestly I was getting way, like way ahead of myself instead of being where my feet were. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, how people view him, I have to protect him for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Like I want to change the world. I'm not even trying to change him.
You trying to
I feel
change the
like
world.
yeah, I feel like people think that we're lying. Like they're like, oh, autism parents who say that they wouldn't change their child. Yes, when you have a child, no, you don't expect your child to be on the spectrum or having disabilities. But
I
why
feel
would
like
I
now it's
change my
becoming like really more common, and I think it's I really don't know, but I honestly think that it has something to do with the food. Like all these type of illnesses that is going on, I really think that it has to do with the food that we're getting.
Well,
Because okay, go ahead.
yeah, no, you're okay. Yeah, I don't necessarily speak on where it came from. Like that's a topic I do not speak on because it's like at the end of the day, what can we really do about it? You know?
That's true.
Yeah, so for me it's like, hey, my child was presented with it. It's okay.
Here,
So
right.
now how will I just make sure that
Yeah.
people are aware of it? You know,
Right.
how will I make sure that people know that it's not like the end of the world? It's like
Right.
no,
Yeah.
he just views the world differently. And if we're being
Yeah.
honest, he's smarter than me. Like, you know, if we're being honest, so no. So yeah, it was that. It was like, okay, I need to make sure that every step I'm taking is the right step. Now I know there's not really any right step because every child is different. I have to figure out what works for my son. And as long as I'm open to living with him, learning with him, failing with him, you know, whatever, because this is also his childhood still. So I'm not going to take that away. Like I said earlier, I just have to reimagine the things that I previously imagined. So yeah, it was that. And then oh, sorry.
I'm sorry not to cut you off. Did you have like some doubt in your head of like self-blame or like blaming God of like why is this situation happening to me? Because that's a real thing, right? We typically do blame God and be like, you know, why am I going through this and why am I going through this situation? Or like, did I do something wrong? You know what I'm saying? That's a real
it is,
you
but
know,
no, yeah, that wasn't my experience.
that's good.
Like I said, when it comes to autism or mental health in general, it is so taboo.
Yeah.
There's certain stances I just stay away from because I'm like,
Mhm.
sorry, not sorry, that was not my experience.
Right.
Like, that wasn't my experience. Like how I spoke on ABA. There are people
Yeah.
who, I mean, disgusting
Mhm.
stances on it or opinion, you know, whatever. And I'm like, sorry, not sorry, that wasn't my experience, so I can't speak to it. I will only speak to what my experience was,
Right.
and I will not speak on something that I did not experience. Even
Right.
if someone is sharing their opinion, I'd rather be quiet because I'm like, nah, I'll speak when I can relate. I can't,
Yeah.
so I'd rather not, especially with something as sensitive as this. It's like even when it comes down, so yeah, it was fear and grief. And I feel like I said earlier, that part people are scared to say out loud, it is okay. You're not, it's not
Mhm.
grief for your child, it's grief for what you thought you understood or what you thought life would look like.
Mhm.
Um, and then you sit, you're like, you know what? And for me, I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna feel this way anymore because at the end of the day, my child is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's why I said people think we're lying or we're crazy when we say that we wouldn't change our child. For me, it's like I don't want to change who he is because this is who he is.
Is right.
Yes, he has autism. Yes, he may view the world differently. Yes, that thing may tick him off. Yes, he may not be able to look at this light. Yes, you know, whatever. That's just a part of his makeup. But at the end of the
Mhm.
day, he is so bright. He is so smart. He is the most funniest little boy I've ever met in my life. Okay,
Mhm.
he brings me so much joy. For I know I spoke on before his sensitivities and not being able to withstand touch, and now he's hugging me every 5 minutes, like coming and asking me for hugs.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's like there's no guide for this.
Right.
You get that diagnosis, and you know, like what do you want to do? You know,
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure that you have other questions. So I'm like, but pretty much the textbook version of autism and the real version, or like what you're living, they are two completely different things.
Right.
That's why I tell people try to just create your own journey. Yes, get help where you need to, whether it's like resources and things, but the way you feel, tap into how you truly feel and do not apologize for it.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
it.
You spoke on like as a parent with a child when it comes to unique needs, um the way of understanding the communication, connection, and emotions expressed when it comes to that, like how did you deal with that? You said like you had to figure out like how to communicate with him. You said you talked about like his tablet. Tell me more about like you guys communicating through that
Yeah,
and what is that?
um, so it's called an AAC device. But now
Okay.
prior to that, um, it was so he did have speech therapy along with the
Okay.
physical and the occupational therapy. And so that would just be like in the beginning because there was no sense of, you know, him being verbal. Well,
Mhm.
signs of him being verbal. So it was more so like trying to get him, you know, to like move his mouth around, you know, like listening to different sounds, whether it was a TV or a toy or a device, to see if he repeated. So pretty much that repetition, constantly exposing him to different things to see, okay, will
Mhm.
he try this? Will he not? And then after that, we kind of went into something called a PEX book. So it's a physical, it's like a binder, and you have actual pictures of items. So it can be the foods he eats, it can be toys, like pretty much things in his everyday life. You have pictures of it on this binder that he can pull off and stick back on. He became a pro at that in like a week, and that was exposed to him through ABA.
True.
There
Okay.
was so much that I learned through ABA that I didn't necessarily learn from his individual therapies. That's why I say
Mm.
every child is different. Every parent is different. Every parent will take a different route. I'm proud of the route that I took because he's thriving. He was not thriving at this level with the other therapies. Yes, everybody
Mhm.
came along the way. I'm so grateful, and like I said, I thank God because my experience has been positive, completely. You know, like along the way, every person that we have encountered that has been a part of his journey has been a major help, a major asset. And so the PAX book was introduced. He became a pro at that in like a week, and he'd be able to form sentences. So, you know, he'd see the
Good.
word. Yeah. So it's like nuggets. He pull it off and, show me the nuggets. Put it back. He water, show me the water. He flip through, and be able to form a sentence. So like I am, he's pulling them off the book and kind of forming his sentence.
And that's good.
Yeah, so after that, then he graduated to the device. So the device is so there are different ways you can get on, like different programs. They offer it to families like a free device. You apply for it, maybe they're giving them away. There are some, maybe you can get it through your insurance. Me personally, I purchased my son an iPad because I wasn't waiting for any of these.
Oh yeah, they do make you wait for
and,
those
and
type of
it was a
things.
lot. And I'm like, you know what? So I purchased an iPad, and then my son, there's this platform called Proloquo to go.
Okay.
And it cost, how much was it? $300. No, yeah, between $250 and $300, which I know is pretty hefty, but you have it for life, and it is quite literally his voice. So think about this: if you could put a price on your child's voice,
Yeah.
like that's it, and we have it for life. Now, twice a month they do have it half off. Like now, it's half off for Autism Awareness Month, and October for why do I always forget the name? Mental Health Awareness Month. So yeah, both of those times it'll be half off. So that's when you want to catch it. So I caught it during the October one, bought it for half off, and now he has it for life, and he's been using that for almost 2 years, and it's amazing. So it actually speaks to you when you type it. So it helped him to learn some of the words prior to the book. Before the book, he's just showing you the words and he's not hearing it. So it's like he can type, "I want more bubbles," and it'll actually say it. Like I programmed, his own little voice,
Okay.
sound like, what I felt like he would sound like. It has different things that you can add in as the parents or whoever, and he knows how to navigate it. He'll go to the food tab, to the toys tab, teaching them how to say his name. Like my name is Nolan, and so it has been game changing for us. And it's really like
Amazing.
how he communicates. So if he can't say it verbally, he'll pull that out and go to town. And
Yeah.
I just love how comfortable he is with it too. So yeah.
Oh, I love that they have tools that you
Mhm.
guys can communicate through. That's amazing. And
Yeah.
we'll have that information in the description, guys, if you need any guidance or if you need those type of tools to help you. So I want to know from you, what does support actually look like for a child with autism in real life? Not just the textbook version or people just assuming, but also what is the hardest part of advocating for a child in a space like schools, healthcare, or family dynamics?
What was the first part again?
Sorry. Um, what does support actually look like for a child with autism in real life, and not just like the textbook version or like
Yeah.
people just assuming? I want to hear for your support, and also just in general as a kid who had autism, and also what is the hardest part about advocating for a child in those type of spaces in schools, healthcare, and like even family dynamics?
Okay. That's a loaded question.
I
Okay.
know it's loaded. I'm sorry. You can
All
do
right.
it too.
Um. Okay. So the first part,
Yeah.
protecting my son's emotional well-being for sure.
Okay.
Um. Letting him be free, not getting like, yes, he's so young and he got his diagnosis young, but there are people that go undiagnosed for years because, and this is not me pointing fingers. You never know what happens. You never know. It could have been something that was missed. People that did know and decided not to take action, or to intervene. But people then get older and they learn something about me is unique. Something about me is just
Yeah.
different, and you're not realizing you've been masking all your life. So me, I am in charge of making sure he is not masking for anyone, making sure he can express himself in whatever way feels natural to him. And now what I can't control is that he's going to always be met with patience and understanding. That's what I try to control. And so that is what my support looks like. you'll always receive patience and understanding from your mother, and you're not going to be pressured to try to conform, which is
Mhm.
why it's like we put our kids in, in this world, and it's like, oh, autistic kids have to learn how to connect with um children who may not be on the spectrum. um and it's like, why is it not the other way around? Like, why
Mhm.
isn't these children should learn, hey, his brain just operates a little bit differently, but he would like
Right.
to play with you, blah blah blah. So I feel like really it should be 50-50.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you have some things when when you have a child with autism that are let from like behaviors. You have some things that were learned. You have some things that aren't necessarily controlled. It really is just a part of their brain. And they do have to learn, okay, hey, this is not necessarily okay. But it's not something that they're being forced to learn isn't okay. That's just a part of their personality that isn't bad, if that makes sense. My main thing supporting him is like, I want him to feel safe,
Safe.
you
Right.
know, being himself. So that is, like I said in the store. Okay, we're going to yell and flap our hands. Hey, let's yell and flap our hands
Mhm.
because you're doing nothing wrong.
Right.
That lady was so bothered by your noises. Hey, let's bother her some more because you're
Right.
doing nothing wrong. Now, if he's acting out, throwing stuff, that's different.
Yeah.
That's different. And my child has never displayed any of those behaviors. I know that there are other children, like I said earlier, every child with autism is not the same, who does
Yeah.
display those behaviors. And I know that it can be harder with that
Yeah.
because you do have to intervene. But when you intervene, you have to do it in a way where
Right. Right.
they may not understand.
Mhm.
So it takes longer for you to instill in them, like, hey, you cannot do this.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, that part. And then you said the
What's the hardest part?
of
Um.
advocating.
Yes,
Okay.
when it comes to like child, kids in like schools, healthcare, and
Mm.
like family dynamics. Like, what is the hardest part?
I feel like this keeps being my answer, but the emotional part of it, like,
Emotion.
because
Right.
this is such a sensitive topic, and
Yeah.
it makes you so emotional, and I don't even mean like, oh, cry. Like, it can make you angry, it can
Yeah.
make you sad, it can make you happy. Like, so the emotional part, I go through those emotions daily. Every time I pick up my child, they're telling me some new progress. Like, hey, today he initiated tag with his device. He said, chase me today, and I mean, I'm
Oh.
crying. And now it's happy tears. Back then, I told you I was crying for 2 hours, sad tears.
Mhm.
Now the tears are happy. Some are still sad.
Right.
Some are still confused. I'm angry at people who may view him away. Um,
Right.
but yeah, so that advocating in schools and these systems, now that's nothing. That's nothing. Yeah, I just
Yeah, I feel like
we're not fully there yet because
yeah,
we
I feel
start.
like we don't have a lot of support when it comes to that, and we don't have a lot of people who want to take the initiative. It's always people who are dealing with similar issues like that, but not people who are outside of it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm not there yet to speak on it, because
Right.
like I said, we started the ABA route,
Yeah.
um, but when the like advocating within your family,
Mhm.
now that's a different thing, and it definitely hits differently because it's people who love your child and would care if something happened to them.
Right.
We also don't understand them. And then you can
Right.
think it, as us, just adults who like, our parents do not understand us. So like I'm like, my parents do not understand me, who I am and what I like. Or no, as a teenager, my parent does not understand me, who I am and what I'm going through. So it's like, this is the same thing.
Yeah.
All you're like, you don't have to think so hard to understand. Just be present. Just be present, pay attention, analyze, and sooner or later, you'll know, oh, wow, he does that when he's happy. Oh, wow,
Mhm.
he does that when he's sad. Oh, okay, this is his favorite snack. It's really as simple as that. So my thing is, I'm now the bridge between my child and the world.
Mhm.
And I'm constantly explaining, I'm constantly translating, I'm constantly protecting him. And so over time, it can feel isolating. Um,
Mhm.
so I've been trying to make that more liberating. than
Mm-hmm.
isolating, because I'm like, if you wanted to, you would. If you wanted to understand, you would. So I'm not going to let that feel
Sure.
isolating. I'm going to
Yeah.
feel liberated because I have spoken up and I have expressed my feelings and I know who my child is and I know how he shows up. So yeah, at the end of the day, you know, middle finger.
In your experience, what do you wish more resources focused on when it comes to autism and Black or brown families navigating it? What do you wish they focused more? Like what more research? I mean, what I say? What do you wish more resources focused on when it comes to autism in the Black community? That's a hard one for you.
It is hard because, like I said, I guess because he is still so young, and our journey has been what it was. So I don't think I've experienced much of a huge gap. I think what it is, though,
Maybe
a
just
lot of
like,
us we may not be as open to sharing because we're trying to figure
okay,
out what's going on. So
yeah,
say having access to people who understand your experience and you guys also have the same cultural experience.
okay.
So
So more community when it comes to that.
right, yeah. So it's like I say, me now, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start sharing even more
Okay,
because there are other people who may not know that they can
right.
or that what they're experiencing is the same thing that I am. And it's okay, not everybody has to share their experiences. Because like I said too, there are people who could be ashamed. I'm not ashamed.
Right.
And it's a big reason why I do share, because I know that there is some other mom out there probably up late at night crying, trying to figure this out. And
Yeah.
to know that she's not the only one. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it just helps, if she looks like me, but my content
Yeah.
is not just for the, Black and brown families. It's at the end of the day, we're all trying to get through this together. So any autism
Yeah.
mom,
I was just about to ask you to speak to that. Like if you could speak to a mother who is going through this, who just found out her child um has
mm,
is showing symptoms like that, what would you tell her and what type of advice would you give her
mm,
in this moment?
that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, so I will tell you everything I just said, and then um, this does not define your child. Okay, it gives you a deeper understanding as to how they think and how they view the world. The job that you have as a mother already, it's just going to get deeper because you're now an advocate. Be their
Mhm.
biggest advocate. I mean, bigger than big, in the school, at the doctor, at the park. Okay? Um, even in your own family. And don't stop advocating. Do never stop. Never stop. Even if it feels exhausting, even if it feels isolating, you are giving your child, like you are allowing your child to live a life in a world where they feel accepted.
Mhm.
Find community wherever it is. Do not try to carry this by yourself because it is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard. Um, and if you do experience any grief, know that it doesn't mean that. Know that it's not a betrayal of your
Right.
love for them. It's a part of the process, and this is your process. Okay. And one of my favorite verses, was it Proverbs 4:23? Okay.
Mhm.
On the hard days, guard your heart because everything flows from that. That's it.
Mhm. I love that.
That's it.
I love that. Guys, um she is not just a mother navigating in who has a child who has unique needs. She is also an entrepreneur. She has started her own company as a brand strategist, which is called On Scene One Co. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
right? Okay, okay.
Same one cup. Yeah.
Yeah, so she also, helps entrepreneurs with content creation, brand strategizing, and a lot of other things. Tell them exactly like what you offer, how you can assist them when it comes to your company, because she's not just a mother who has a child with autism. She's all these other things too, guys. So yeah.
Okay. So my brand strategy consultancy is called Scene One Co. It's called Scene One because that's pretty much where your brand should start. I feel like that's where a lot of brands do not start when they think about, okay, what strategy can I have going into this? I work with creators and founder-led brands. Um, Now the difference in my company is I focus on sensory brand strategy. So how does your brand feel? How does it look? How does it make other people feel? Which I feel like is a huge thing missed in this industry. People kind of start their brand, especially in this day and age. You can use social media to grow your brand. So you may just start posting. You be like, okay, I'm finding people. People are connecting, but is it the kind of people that you were trying to find? Is it the kind of
Right.
you're trying to reach? So I help you make sure that everything that you put out comes back to who you are at your core, and make sure that everything um like everything flows from that.
Right.
um yeah, I love what I do. I've been doing it for 8 years, but I just recently launched my own company back in November. And yeah, I've had some amazing clients, and I'm always open to more. Yeah.
Guys, her information will be in description below. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. My dear guest here, and also for the Black Impact Podcast. I am Tiffany, your host, and this episode is for to spread awareness for Autism Awareness Month. This was a lovely conversation. I'm so happy that you brought so much awareness, because there was some things that I didn't know about operating with a child who has unique needs. Also giving the audience some insight of what they can do and how they can support people who are going through things like this. This episode is presented and supported of autism awareness and inspired by work of organizations like Autism Society of America and Organization for Autism Research, helping create more understanding, support, and resources for family navigating life in the spectrum, guys. So please like, follow, and support, subscribe, comment. We love you. And this is the Black Impact. I have Autumn here with me. I am Tiffany, your host, and I'll see you on the next episode, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Autumn.
Thank you.